couldn't take out any tech buildings or anything like that, but he certainly got a lot of drones. You know, go.go hasn't expanded, so it is good that he did some economic damage since he hasn't expanded himself either. If he had expanded, I mean, he would be so far ahead right now. But as it is, he's just playing one base right now, which is kind of unusual for a player going Medic Marine to not get a quick expansion. So it looks like he really did try to do a lot of damage with that, and probably just didn't want to use that 400 minerals to get a command center and just wanted to build as many, you know, Medic Marines as he could for that push. So I think it's going to develop into maybe a little longer game just because that push didn't totally kill off ZerO. You know, he did some economic damage, but since it wasn't the total kill move, he's now going to have to defend against the mutas. And we do see ZerO trying to come in with mutas and do a little bit of damage, but so far, not a lot going on.
Yeah, I think that go.go has pretty good control so far this game. He's ahead in food count. He was ahead by almost 10 a few seconds ago. And obviously, when you're Zerg, that's, you know, there's strength in numbers, and that's what your goal is to be always ahead. I think that go.go is going to go for an expansion fairly quickly. I think once he feels like he has enough Medic Marines to be able to counter off this Mutalist force going out. The barracks might make it. No, probably not, although go.go could bring up his Medic Marines to that edge there and try to save it. I guess he just doesn't have enough. I don't know if he's just focusing more on tech right now. I don't see a lot of units for go.go as far as after that attack building more units. We are going to see some tricking going on down, possibly to try to get a base at the bottom left. That's not a bad idea at all. I think ZerO, although he is kind of behind, if he can get a hidden expansion, it's more difficult for Terran to fly over to that. Obviously, they would need a drop ship, so it's easier for ZerO to defend that expansion at the bottom left. Look at that SCV trying to repair the barracks as it slowly hobbles over. I don't know. I have a feeling like things are going to possibly reset here. I had a moment there where I thought ZerO was possibly going to lose, and go.go's kind of content to just kind of turtle in here. Ooh, a nice job getting a kill on the Mutalist there, but I feel like he's kind of content to turtle down a little bit. I don't feel like he really has enough. Okay, he's getting more turrets right now. That's smart. But he's probably going to try to kind of hang out and tech up, maybe get a couple siege tanks to help him move out against those Sunkens.
Well, it is really surprising that go.go hasn't got his expansion, but I guess he just feels that, you know, if he gets his expansion, that's another thing he has to protect. He's going to have to spread out his Medic Marines, build more turrets, and, you know, assuming he knows that ZerO did go for a 2-hatch build, you know, 2-hatch mutas is a very aggressive build, and the point of it is to really mess up the Terran early on. So if you can survive that 2-hatch build, just like we saw in the last game, you know, where Fantasy survived Type B's 2-hatch muta build, if you can survive that build, you're really in a good position going on into the mid-game. So I think that the longer time goes on, ZerO is going to be in kind of a bad position. But if go.go never expands, then ZerO will be able to catch up on economy. It looks like the SCV is just now finally going out to expand, but that's still pretty late. go.go waited a very long time to expand, and I guess he was just really concerned with holding that defense. He knows that ZerO's build is really aggressive, so he's just thinking, as long as I can hold this off, I'll be okay, you know, against a 3-base Zerg later on. So he's going to get his expansion up a little later than the 3rd expansion of ZerO, but that's going to pretty much be fine for go.go. So I still feel that go.go is in a good position. I mean, these 2-hatch mutas have done nothing, so ZerO in his mind has got to be basically thinking, my build has failed thus far. So he's going to have to revert to the backup, which is to expand, you know, to hold his defense. And it looks like a hive is going up, as well as, of course, he does have the Evo chamber there, too, just for upgrades. But he does have the hive going up, so maybe he'll be able to get defilers out, you know, pretty soon and be on his way to counter the Medic Marine.
I'm guessing, then, from ZerO, we're going to see a Mutaling build here, and probably Mutaling with defilers, which I have to say is a very difficult build to micro and to control, probably one of the most difficult. If you go with like a Lurkerling build or even Muta Lurker, which is, I don't know if that's even a build, but you know, it's a little bit easier because you can kind of set the Lurkers there, and for the most part they do their job. But when you have something like Mutaling with Defiler, you are just constantly microing, constantly consuming Defilers. There's the Defiler mount, so I guess I was right. I'm assuming that's what we're going to see here. I just hope that go.go or that ZerO has the micro to pull it off. We've seen some pretty good micro by him. I mean, when he played against Swanson and beat him, you know, he did have some pretty good Defiler play in using the Defilers and the Dark Swarm along with the Infested Terrans to protect them going in. So I can definitely see this happening, but I think at this point, even with 3 hatcheries currently going, I would say that, okay, and we're going to see a Greater Spire. Okay, so we're going to see a crazy game here. To be honest, then, with the tech going up here, I think if ZerO can fend this off right here, if he can fend this attack off, which I think he's going to be able to do with so many Sunkens, then I think he's going to be able to last in this game.
Well, ZerO really needs to buy himself time here. I mean, if you saw one good thing about it, it looks like go.go is pushing in here with a ton of Mech Marines, a couple Marines getting Defense Matrix there just to take more of the fire, and I really don't think that ZerO can hold this off. There's a Radiate. ZerO needs to pull his Mutalisks. He's not pulling his Mutalisks. He's going to lose every single Mutalisk. Wow, he just lost like 8 Mutalisks there, that single Irradiate. And what I was going to say, he probably wasn't even expecting a Radiate yet this early in the game. Good job with the Scourge to take out the Science Vessels, but the damage has already been done, and so many Sunkens are going to force go.go to go back. But here's the thing about go.go's build. He stayed on one base, and the reason he did it was because he could tech so fast. So being that he stayed on one base, he had the extra money and the extra defense to be able to focus on just teching, and he got the Science Vessels so quickly that what I was going to say is basically, go.go couldn't do anything with his Mutalisks because he was going to be able to, and his Defilers even, because by the time he finally gets Defilers and Mutalisks out, there's already Science Vessels with the Radiate in the air because of go.go's one base tech. So, I mean, go.go put himself in a really good position. I do think that he just needs to regroup here and push in. Meanwhile, ZerO just needs time to get those Guardians up. There's not that many Guardians. They can get picked off by a Radiate too, so ZerO is going to have a really hard time. There's still a very large Medic Marine force out in the front. I mean, go.go is going to have to breach this entire front area unless he gets dropships, which could be definitely a good idea. And this, we see this build a lot with Zergs. They like to go this 2-hatch and then transition into Spire and Ultras, and it's just very gas-heavy, very tech-heavy, but honestly, I haven't seen it succeed that often.
I feel that if go.go can't do something in the next 5 minutes or so, that I think ZerO might have a pretty definitive advantage. It looks like he's also getting a 4th base on the bottom of the map, so he's going to have 4 mining bases to go.go's 2, and he's going to have Ultralisks, and he's going to have Defilers, and he's going to have, Guardians. Now that is a huge force, but look how many Sunkens there are, and there's Lings now, and there's Guardians now. I think that ZerO has done the right thing and that he's been able to turtle up, and I think if go.go can't get any harassment done, ZerO might unleash the full force of the Zerg and full force of the Swarm onto go.go's butt. So we'll see. I mean, go.go's doing a good job, and it looks like he might be getting a 3rd expansion or 2nd expansion. So if he is getting the expansion in the bottom right, then, I don't know. I mean, I think we might be setting up for a longer game here because they're both kind of turtled in pretty well.
Well, all go.go needs, though, to break that front is tanks. It's really surprising with all that tech that he didn't get tanks out. We haven't seen a single tank. I don't know if Siege Mode's even been upgraded because he hasn't even sent a single tank out. But all he needs is a few tanks to tank out those, Sunkens, and that's pretty much it. Looks like ZerO's going to try to stop this expansion in the right. I don't think it's going to happen if he just stims those Marines. go.go not doing a great job of multitasking, though. Is just going to lose these Marines carelessly over here